Game.film here. What's up, everyone? Game.film. Yeah, right. Psych. Y'all thought I was gonna play it like that. I don't do that. I'm gonna talk some films. I've been slacking this year. I watched only 8 movies in July. We're gonna talk about the first 4 films I watched in July. I kind of like talking. Not so many. I can get a little bit more in depth, but I watched 4 films. The first couple weeks ish of July. Hard 8, Last Hurrah for Chivalry, Moneyball, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Let's talk about the first film I want to talk about today. We're talking movies. Hard 8 is a crime drama released in 1996, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. I think this is his first full-length feature film. I think he had a short called Coffee and Cigarettes. And this stars Philip Baker Hall, John C. Reilly, Gwyneth Paltrow, Samuel L. Jackson, and in a small, kind of, not a cameo, but, Philip Seymour Hoffman. And he's got his cinematographer, Robert Elswit, who he worked in a lot of his films. This was written and directed by PTA, not Paul W.S. Anderson, but this is a pretty good to great first film from Paul Thomas Anderson. I think a lot of folks say that you can tell this is his first film. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. And I think in most Paul Thomas Anderson movies, you really like to watch the actors act. Kind of sit back and enjoy the acting. It's a pretty good character study. There's some character development, and maybe not so much from other characters. They don't grow. Most of them do, I suppose. But there's hints of greatness here, man. He channels his inner Scorsese of a very long take. It's nothing spectacular, but it's still very sweet. What's the name of the composer of this film? What's his name? John Bryan. John Bryan and Michael Pinn. But I think John Bryan is his main dude he uses. In the long take in the casino, it follows Sidney, Philip Baker Hall. He's making the rounds of the casino. It's a pretty long take and very nice jazzy score. Very relaxing. And I really like that moment. It's not like the Goodfellas scene, but he's, PT is trying to do that long take stuff. And I love watching Philip Baker Hall in lead. I really liked him in Magnolia. And Homer Sexual in the Twitch chat says, "What up, Beach?" Talking movies here. And there's also, God, man, some of the all-time great moments is when Sydney's like, I love you like you were my own son." And I don't want to spoil too much, but a character, he looks so touched on his face is actually so, it's one of the best things, I think, one of my favorite things that PTA's done in Philip Baker Hall. Watching Samuel L. Jackson as Jimmy, who's kind of this jealous, he wants to be the best, he's jealous of Sydney. Watching them two go toe-to-toe, there's a great scene of them in the car, kind of revealing some information to each other, so there's some good chemistry there, but some folks don't like the crime part. They're like, why don't you just kind of keep the drama and character study going, but whatever. I mean, I think to keep that, what is it, a 102-minute runtime, they kind of have to fluff it up a little bit. There's a good slow motion take of Gwyneth Paltrow. I can't spoil too much though, but yes, there's some good camera work, there's some good filmmaking in this. So I'll give Hard 8 a recommendation of 3.5 stars out of 5. Definitely go watch it. Make that your first Paul Thomas Anderson movie, honestly. The second film I watched in July of this year, 2025. Last Hurrah. How do you say hurrah? Last Hurrah for Chivalry. Directed by John Woo. 1979. John Woo, I believe, was 32, only 33 years old. And I believe this is his first film for Golden Harvest, or one of his first films. And He really, they let him, they had faith in him. He had directed a few movies before this, but I don't think, this is his first big one. And this is a first time watch. I rated it 4.5 stars out of 5. This is a martial arts wuxia film starring Damien Lau, Chung Yan, Wai Pak, Lao Kong, Fung Hak On. And I think this gentleman did the action choreography, and he's done a lot of great work, guys. Police Story, Ip Man 2, Dragons Forever. Some of the great Hong Kong films. And this is a Hong Kong film, by the way. I should announce the countries here. But you can really see John Woo, man. He's taking the reins. You can see greatness. I think this movie gets better every minute as it goes on. It gets better. The story gets better. The martial arts choreography gets better. Each fight's better than the previous one, I think. And you know, you got that inventive Hong Kong action choreography in this. And there's one fight, one-on-one sword fight, and one guy, he dodges him, and he's like rolling like a turtle on the ground, and the guy's like trying to stab him. I thought that was pretty sweet. Like I wouldn't think that would work in a fight, but they make it look really good. And you know, the final fight, as in any Hong Kong film, as in any John Woo film, it goes kind of balls to the wall, very creative. There's, you know, John Woo likes candles, y'all. There's just red candles strewn up everywhere, and you know, it's framed really well. The cameras, the last fight is shot so good. But man, I rate this higher than other films like Broken Arrow, which is one of my favorites because it's such an easy watch. I rate it higher than Face Off. It's up there with Hard Target, Better Tomorrow, Better Tomorrow 2. I only give Better Tomorrow 2 3 stars. That movie annoyed me. But definitely, you guys like action, you like martial arts, you like John Woo. Must watch. Damn near masterpiece. 4.5 stars out of 5. For that one. Third film I want to talk about is Moneyball. This is a sports film, baseball. Released 2011, directed by Bennett Miller, starring Brad Pitt in the lead role as Billy Bean, the general manager. Jonah Hill as Peter Brand. Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace, as the manager Art Howe. Chris Pratt as the first baseman Scott Hatteberg, and more. But man, so this movie, Billy Bean, he's, I mean, I guess you kind of have to be an asshole-ish, but he's kind of a charming asshole. You really want to root for him, even though he's pretty upfront with you. He says what he has to say. I mean, he's got a tough job. He's got so much to do. But you're really rooting for him, man, and I think that's hard to make you care about a character who's pretty, he might not be likable on the surface, but he kind of is, you know. You're rooting for him. Jonah Hill, this is one of his better performances, I think. Philip Seymour Hoffman's quietly good. And, I mean, for me, this is, as far as baseball films, you know, I think it's up there with the top 5, you know. Major League, Bull Durham, off the top of my head, that's all I can think of. But the score is really good. Some good guitar licks in there. Some quiet, progressive rock, you know. And it doesn't. If you don't know baseball, I mean, this is still a good film to watch, man. It's a good drama. And there's ups and downs. When it's the ups, you know, you're really cheering for what the team's doing. Breaks down what they're trying to do easy, what Moneyball is, what they're trying to do with getting on base and percentages, and it's like cards at the blackjack table. We're gonna beat the house, you know. What else? I really like the child actor, Billy Bean's daughter in this. I'm not sure her name. She actually does pretty good too. All the players are portrayed pretty well, although they make Carlos Pena look like an asshole when you tell him he's been traded. But yeah, man, Bennett Miller directs the heck out of this, man. I give Moneyball 4.5 stars out of 5. So watch Moneyball even if you don't like baseball. Do it, guys. Do it. Alright, so fourth film I want to talk about is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Released in the year 2000, directed by Ang Lee, starring Chow Yun Fat as Lee Mubai, Michelle Yeoh as Yu Shu Lien, Zhang Zi as Jin, Chang Pei Pei. She was a huge star in I think the late 60s, early 70s. She's Jade Fox. But man, you get like not one but two good romances going on. I love a good romance, but I guess I should say the genre. It's a drama, martial arts, wuxia film. When I think wuxia, I just think of sword fighting and a period piece. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But you got two great love stories. You've got kind of like a heist detective subplot going on. And there's just a lot of mystery, like who's the real... Well, I guess you kind of know who the bad guy is. They make it a little obvious, but how we're gonna catch this thief, the pursuit, you know, you have to appreciate whatchamacallit, the... Who did the... I could have sworn Wen Wu Ping. Basically, yeah, there he is. Wen Wu Ping. The action choreography, guys, is magnificent. Thus not every strike, but most of the fights tells you something about the character, you know. How Michelle Yeoh is, she can hold her own against the young up-and-comer, the aggressive, Zhang Zi. And Chow Yun Fat, he's not the best martial artist, but they make him look pretty decent. But it's like every strike, man, you can tell like they're trying to tell a story through all the ballet, the movements. So excellent action choreography, guys. The settings are really nice. I think the color palettes are really nice. Some good cinematography for sure. But man, this is I'm not gonna give away too much, but the lows are low and the highs are highs, and it's just a really great story. I think I don't think you'll laugh, but you'll cry out of happiness, you'll cry out of sadness, I think. And it's a really great ending. It's not like a Hollywood, it's not an American ending, I'll say that. They really end the film, you know, in a great way. So, and man, when these two are bickering and fighting and they're starting to fall in love, that was just a great scene. They're fighting in the desert, and they're both tumbling down a big sand dune, kind of, what do you call it, a hill, a mountain? But just how she's so stubborn, and this guy breaks her down, and they start to fall in love a little bit. So I love a good romance, and you get two of them here, you know. So there you go, man. 5-star film. Yeah, I'm thinking 5 stars. That's that Keanu Reeves, the meme. So I love it, man. So Ang Lee, great job directing, man. You did a great job there. So there's 4 films for the first couple weeks of July, guys.